Hi there traders, this is Chris from Elite Currency with another video on the euro dollar and pound dollar. Now looking at the last day of July. We'll have monthly candles of course to review, but that's on Thursday video coming up in 2 days. Alrighty, so let's get started with the euro dollar daily chart. We expected a bullish bounce here at the bottom of the triangle indicated by these purple trend lines, support and resistance of that chart pattern. And you can see that price did indeed bounce and is approaching yet again the resistance of that triangle. So will price break or bounce? You know, I'm leaning towards a break, but big patterns like this do take time, and sometimes they could be, extended beyond what we think is expected. So the space between these trend lines is getting quite small, it's getting tighter. So a breakout will eventually occur, I think, but is it now or the next time? I think it will be probably now, but let's take a look at smaller time frames. One rule of thumb, by the way, is if you measure the triangle, right, and if you extend all these lines like this, all right, then it will break around the 2/3 mark. So this is the entire length of that triangle. It's about 2 months. So we would expect the triangle to break 2/3 of that, which is about after 5 weeks. So roughly around here. It's a little bit late already actually with the break, so I would expect that it could happen soon. Let me renew the template so we don't get too much material on this. There we go. So let's zoom into that 4-hour chart. All right, so we had that bounce here, and it looks like at this moment, or even the hourly chart, it looks like to me that price has completed a 5-wave up, as I already mentioned in the last video. Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a bigger wave A probably. This is all wave B with basically an ABC in it. Here we go, A, B, C. Wave A had 3 waves, wave B had 3 waves, and wave C seems to have 5 waves down. And I think that this could be wave C. And we're now looking probably at a wave 1 within the wave C, 2, this could be a wave 3, and maybe a wave 4 and up for wave 5. Now, whether this is wave 3 is still ongoing or finished, and price is making wave 4, I'm not sure. It could be both. Let's put a fib from here to here. All right, and it did retrace to 23.6 fibs, so that could be already a wave 4 in itself. Or price is extending, for instance, the wave 3, and then we get a wave 4 and then a wave 5. That both are, I think, are possible, I should say. This is not a wave 4, however, if price breaks below this 61.8 fib. So if it breaks below the long-term moving average and these 2 fibs, then I don't think it's likely to be a wave 4. The invalidation level is actually the top of wave 1 right here. So if it breaks below that, then this is not a wave 4 anymore, and this is probably in that case an ABC correction, and we're extending this correction even lower. All right, but rather than an ABC, I do think that it seems to be a 1, 2, 3 at this moment. So any dip that we see here, I would expect a bounce at the 38, a bounce at the 50, maybe the 61 for a continuation higher. Of course, a breakout would help confirm that. If price manages to push through this trend line now or later on, we might see an immediate continuation up to this minus 272 target, but of course, it could go further. How high could it go? Well, if it breaks above the R1 pivot, if it breaks above the minus 272 target, then I think there's a fair chance they can go all the way up to this zone right in here, as mentioned already in my previous videos, up to 118, 118.40, the R2, etc. We can add the Wiz tool. Let's do that to a bottom near the 144 EMA. Let's do that right here. Let's use this candle for that breakout, and there we go. So what do we see there? Well, we see that, Wiz level 3 could be a good breakout target, for instance. We see that price could stop in this zone because there's a lot of tops in here, but if it breaks above the first Wiz level and those tops, there could be further gains to be found between 1 and 2 and the second and third Wiz level. Of course, we can also use the bottom. We like using the candles at the first candle breaking through the 144 EMA, but if we use the entire bottom, all right, there we go. Some more Wiz levels. Let's take a look where the fourth Wiz level is, around 118.50. All right, so That's just to give some idea about the Wiz. Wiz is very useful for targeting. So let's go back to, let's stick on this 4-hour chart. So the question is, can price break above this resistance zone? Then we should see a breakout to that zone. If price turns back down, we'll see an extended correction, and I would still expect price to bounce somewhere in here for that further upside. Only if price, sorry, I closed my chart by accident. Only if price breaks below this bottom would I change my perspective. And in that case, price is breaking this triangle, the bottom of that triangle, and there could be more bearish pressure to the downside. Remains a choppy chart though in general. Pound dollar bounced at the 50 fib. When we put the fib from here to here, we had a clear, in my view, 5 waves to the upside. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks to complete a wave A. And as I said, I'm expecting now A, B, C correction for wave B, and then again 5 waves up for a wave C. So far, this seems to be playing out as expected because price made a wave A, is now making a choppy and corrective wave B, which is what we expect in a wave B, right? Price going sideways, not showing much momentum. So if we connect the dots here, it looks like there's a channel, a bear flag being made at this moment. So if it breaks that flag to the downside, if there's a bearish break of that support of the flag, I would expect price to fall down to the 61.8 fib. And I'm looking for candlestick patterns to confirm a potential bounce at the 61.8 fib. Then I'm looking for a hook back and then a breakout to confirm the wave 3 of the bigger wave C. All right, that's what I'm looking for on the pound dollar. All right, now it might go deeper. It might go to the 78.6 fib, but I think the 61.8 fib is the most likely candidate. But 78.6 fib is possible too. The invalidation level of this wave B, all right, is this bottom. If price breaks below this bottom, then there is not a wave B anymore, which I don't expect. All right, the confirmation of a wave C is really if price manages to make a lower low and then starts to bounce to the upside and then breaks through resistance like that. If price does not break here, but instead starts to move up like this, I don't think that that has much potential because from my perspective, price will probably stop at this 61.8 fib. Let's get rid of this fib, or let me move this fib all the way here. So yes, you can see bounce at the 38, bounce at the 50. I would expect to bounce at the 61.8 fib. That is really very close at 131.60. So if it does move up here rather than break, I would expect a bearish bounce at this fib, a turnaround, and then a break of the channel for that move down to the -272 target, the S1 pivot point, and the 61.8 fib. Last couple of things that I already mentioned in the previous video, but just to make sure that you heard about it, is that this is a potential head and shoulders, so I would expect price to drop. But then here's again another head and shoulders, inverted one, with this potential pattern playing out as well. All right, so 2 head and shoulders potentials there. Keep in mind that price is still in a downtrend channel. So the real breakout is when price pushes above this resistance trend line. That is when the downtrend channel would be over and price would then also be breaking above the 144 EMA. So as it dips, then moves up again like this, the larger breakout occurs right in here. All right, that's about it for now. Thanks for joining us. We're happy to be here with you. Please check out elitecurrency.com for more free analysis and wish you all great trading. Cheers.